Hey everybody, this is Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for Trendy Tuesday, except for the fact that I'm going to do it on a Thursday. So I'm showing you what I'm working with here. I'm using the crepe paper. I believe this is one of Maggie's Home's very first um, collections, maybe her second, and I'm scrapbooking these two photos of my camera. Before I get into too much, I just want to say a big thanks to Laura, who actually posted on Tuesday because I got pretty sick over the weekend. My son had gotten sick, and thankfully it's just a 24-hour thing. He was fine he was sick Thursday, fine by Friday, but then on Saturday I got sick, so I was not able to get this layout done. I finally on the Monday was feeling well enough to actually scrapbook, and it was a slow go, but I was able to get this layout up. I'm just posting it a couple days late, so I hope you forgive me for that. And again, I just want to thank Laura so much for just doing that for me. It was really sweet of her to do the Trendy Tuesday and get something posted up on the YouTube channel, so there was content for you guys to see. So anyways, as you can see, I am trying to decide which pattern papers I want to use here. I know I kind of want to make this a little bit more of a kind of a fun layout. I am following the sketch from Paper Issues this month. I really love to combine the challenges that Paper Issues gives on their Facebook group along with using my supplies from Spiegelman Scraps. They tend to mix well. Because challenges are challenges. You can find a challenge anywhere, but they're fun challenges. And so having something fun to do and then to use some really fun new product as well, the combination works really well for me. And I'm going to cut this photo down to 4x4. Now, as you can see, my trimmer is being used with scissors. My son got a hold of my trimmer one day and took apart my blade. Thankfully, he didn't. Everything's fine. Those blades it was dull to begin with because it was so old, but thankfully he just took it off the thing and then accidentally broke it. So I just need to get a new one. I just haven't gotten there yet. Going to the store and going to Michael's, that's a whole trip all on its own, and I just haven't created it yet. So I will eventually get a new blade, but for now, it works well. I just line up my scissors and trim. It's fine by me. I am going to take a little bit of tissue paper here to back this photo, just something for a little bit extra dimension. I'm also using this piece of vellum. I can't speak today either. And I really love the way that this turns out. So that vellum is from a crepe paper line. I believe it's the Cool Kid collection, but it's plus size. And with the photos that are in black and white to begin with, there's something about them that just really helps pop everything off the page. So I really like the way that looked. And I'm just going to bravely trim it by tearing it. I was a little nervous about that, but I am going to do that and then place my photos back. And this is following the sketch. The sketch called for 2 photos, not exactly in this placement, but it did call for 2 photos and kind of a block design towards the left side of the page. So I am going to follow that quite closely. I've also decided that I want to back it with some more pattern paper. This is all the same collection. I don't think I use, except for that piece of vellum, I think the whole thing comes from that Maggie Holmes collection. And I'm going to also just kind of do a double border here, so I'm going to back this photo. I really like the numbers, and I thought it kind of made me think of like exposure numbers and stuff like that. So I'm just going to back that, and to my liking, I do really like the way that turns out. I trim it so that all you can see is the numbers, but between the difference in the double layer, so I didn't have to add tissue paper onto that one too. Sometimes I like the idea of having tissue paper on both photos, and sometimes I just want it on one so that the effect can really be seen. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this layout and this effect here. Of course, because this is a 6x6 piece of paper, I'm using my 6x6 pads, and obviously my photo is a 4x6, so it just mats itself perfectly, and then there's a little bit of an overlay when it comes to the pink. So I'm liking all of that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Tree Hugger pasties so this you can get in the shop. And if you would like a discount, you can always use my name plus 15. So Christy15, and it'll give you 15% off your order for anything, including these awesome shimmers. And I am watering it down because I want to make some really fun splatters. But what I love about that is because this is an acrylic type paint, a little bit more of a dimensional type thing. When you splatter it, it makes little bumps. Instead of just being splatters like you would do with mists and stuff, it has a little bit more dimension to it, and I love that. And so this is kind of my new obsession right now, is to grab actual paint instead of just mist, water it down so that it still works and I can use my paintbrush, but I love it. It's my new thing here. So I did that with the Tree Hugger, and it's a beautiful teal color. I love that. I'm also going to brave it and create a heart. So I was very nervous about this because I was afraid I was going to completely ruin it, but I do love the way it turns out in the end. I just keep kind of going with it to make sure it's all painted and it's the same texture and the colors that I'm wanting. But what will end up happening is I'm just going to take a black Sharpie and trace it so you can really tell it's a heart. But I do like the way that turned out. And then with my leftover paint that I had, I'm just going to spread it all over this tissue paper. It's not tissue paper, Christy, all over this vellum. And I'm just going to use that as just kind of a little extra layer and another pop of color. It's going on a piece of green anyways, being backed, so it's not like it's going to do a lot, but you can see it through a little bit. And then I'm going to grab this Holiday Tradition sequence pack, and just one of the colors, you've followed me for a while, you'll know this is what I tend to do. I find one color from a sequence pack that I like, and I tend to line them up or do something. This is kind of my go-to thing when it comes to sequence. I just really like the look. I wanted to do it in a triangular effect, so I'm going to do it on just 3 of the plus signs. And I love the way that this looks. I think it's really, really neat. So I'm going to put all of that there. And again, that's from the Holiday Tradition sequence pack. And it's just kind of the perfect greeny teal color without being too on the blue side. It was more to the green side. And here you can see I'm going to do my Sharpie work here. I'm going to trace this big heart. Really like that enough. I'm going to kind of play with it a little bit, make it a little bit more thick of a line. And then I'm also going to go around my entire layout, and by where there are the bigger dots with the mixed media, I'm going to draw little tiny hearts as well. Now, again, this is not normally something I do. I don't consider this mixed media, but it is more artsy than stuff that I normally do. But I had fun. I was just playing. I wasn't feeling good still, like exactly feeling the best. And I figured worst to worst, it was a piece of white cardstock. So if I really didn't like it, I could always just throw it away. I wasn't harming like my most favorite and beautiful piece of paper ever. So you're going to see me just draw a few hearts just randomly by the splatters. That's kind of where I decided to put them. And I really, really love the effect that that gives. And it will also give me a chance to figure out where to put a home for some more sequins that you're going to see in just a moment. So the other thing that you can tell that I'm sick for is the fact that I'm leaving in a lot more of my process than I normally do. Normally I give you a little hint of what I'm doing and then cut to the finished product, but editing this week just is not really happening. So I hope you don't mind that this is a little bit of a longer video, but it shouldn't be too much longer. And I know there's some people that really actually like to see the whole process, so hopefully you are enjoying this. I am also going to use some of these cork stars. If you know me, you'll know stars are something I kind of struggle with, so it was nice to get some onto the page, and I really love the way that they turned out. And again, triangular effect is kind of my thing. I am taking the Let's Be Mermaids, and this is where I'm going to add my pink and my yellow, so they both come from the same collection. And I'm just going to place a pink one next to every single heart and then a yellow one next to a few of the hearts. And I love that little pop. And because I added that little pop of yellow with the pattern paper as well, again from the Maggie Holmes collection, everything is now jiving and it's working well together, and I'm really, really starting to love the way that this layout is coming together. So I'll glue everything down, start to work on my title. At first I'm not exactly sure. I know I'm going to name it New Camera, but in the end it becomes a little bit longer, and you'll see that in the close-ups, and I title it New Camera Love because it is talking about how I've wanted a really nice DSLR for a long time, so the fact that I was able to buy one and get to enjoy all the photos at the time, this was back in 2013, all the photos I could take of my son who hadn't been born yet, the thought of that was just really exciting for me. And so that's what the journaling is going to talk about. And I love these photos. They're black and white, and they're just pretty, and I think it kind of helps actually stand out, help the camera stand out so you can really see it. And so there's that. At the very bottom down there, you can also see that I've added a few more strips. I just took the 3 pattern papers that I use most dominantly on there. And then I'm going to decorate. So again, my silly camera, sometimes if you don't place it the correct way, because I record with my phone, it records it like you would be holding your phone normally, which is fine and everything, except for when I go to edit and get everything in there, it does this weird zoom thing, so I apologize. But all you're going to see me do is just add a few little pieces here. I wanted to get some embellishments. I'm working through my stash right now and having fun kind of remembering a few things that have kind of just been sitting there and I keep looking, but I'm trying to find new uses and to make sure that I just get everything up and used up and all of that. I want to use my stuff. I don't want to just kind of have it hanging out. Like this piece right here, that piece of washi, I think I've had that for 3 or 4 years. I don't need to keep things for that long. I should be using them. So I'm trying to do that as much as possible. And you're just going to finally see what I was most excited about was this camera. I had no idea how I was going to use that whatsoever, but then I'm like, I'm doing a layout about a camera. I have to have a camera on it. So I was really excited to get that used, and that is from a Dear Lizzie line. And with that, basically going to wrap up my finishing embellishments, and you're going to see some close-ups. So thanks everyone so much for watching. I'll be back.